Dawn breaks over Tennessee, where mist drifts above a quiet lake and sunlight glimmers on a modern barn-style mansion. This isn't just a house. It's Thomas Rhett's sanctuary, a place where music meets family and country roots meet timeless style. But how did a small-town boy from Georgia rise to build such a dream life? Today, we open the doors to his world. Before the platinum records, before the sold-out arenas, before the lakefront mansions and heart-tugging ballads, Thomas Rhett Akins Jr. was just a boy in Valdosta, Georgia. Born into a world already strumming with melody, his father, Rhett Akins, was a country star in his own right during the 90s, known for hits like That Ain't My Truck. But young Thomas didn't grow up in the shadows of fame. He grew up chasing sounds. After his parents separated, his life took a quieter turn in Hendersonville, Tennessee, a town steeped in country music history. Here, surrounded by legends like Tim McGraw and the duo Brooks and Dunn, Thomas didn't just watch music from afar, he lived inside it. At age 11, he picked up the drums. Not long after, he found himself on stage beside his father, feeling the heat of the spotlight, the pulse of the crowd. And something inside clicked. He didn't want to just play music. He wanted to live it. In high school, he formed a band with friends, an oddly named group called the High-Heeled Flip-Flops. Their gigs were small, messy, and fueled more by heart than by harmony. But in that chaos, Thomas found freedom. Then came college, Lipscomb University. He enrolled as a communications major, hoping to play it safe. But how do you cage a voice that was born to fly? By 20, he dropped out. It was a leap of faith, one that scared him and excited him. He signed his first publishing deal with Big Machine Label Group, and almost overnight, he transformed from college dropout to the pen behind Nashville's biggest hits. He co-wrote I Ain't Ready to Quit for Jason Aldean, then 1994, then Round Here for Florida Georgia Line. The industry started whispering, "Who is this kid with the golden touch?" But Thomas wasn't content writing for others. In 2012, he stepped into the spotlight himself with Something to Do with My Hands. The song cracked into the top 30, and suddenly, a door creaked open. He didn't just walk through it, he kicked it wide open. With his debut album It Goes Like This, 2013, Thomas Rhett became a name to remember. Songs like Get Me Some of That and Make Me Wanna climbed the charts and stole radio waves across America. Still, he wasn't done evolving. In 2015, Tangled Up pushed boundaries with Crash and Burn and Die a Happy Man, a love song so personal, so tender, it spent 8 straight weeks at number 1. That moment changed everything. He wasn't just a country artist anymore. He was a husband pouring real love into lyrics, a father in the making writing lullabies before the crib was built. Life Changes, 2017, continued that story. Songs about weddings, babies, and the chaotic joy of growing up. Then came Centerpoint Road, Where We Started, and Country Again, each one pulling a little more from his soul. He sang with Maren Morris, with John Pardy, even Katy Perry. He played Saturday Night Live, and when the world shut down during the pandemic, he released Be a Light, a song that reminded people that kindness still mattered. It wasn't just about hits anymore. It was about meaning. It was about building something bigger through music, family, and faith. And slowly, that boy from Georgia who once played drums in his dad's band became a man with 20. One hit, a Grammy nomination, and millions of fans worldwide. And with every stage he stood on, with every line he wrote, he was also building something back home, something quiet, wide, and full of light. A place where memories would echo louder than applause. And that place? It would be found tucked in the heart of Tennessee. Mansion in Nashville, Tennessee. What does peace look like to a man who lives his life on stage? For Thomas Rhett, It looks like 126 acres of Tennessee countryside, where wide meadows kiss the morning mist and horses roam free beside still water. This is not a mansion designed for spectacle. It's a place built for presence. Nestled in the rural outskirts of Nashville, the estate sits like a quiet poem carved into the landscape. A modern barn home, yes, but not in the way you'd expect. As you pass through the wrought iron gates and drive under a canopy of tall trees, the home reveals itself gradually. Cedar wood siding, rich with grain, glass walls that shimmer in the light, and warm earthen tones that melt into the horizon. The structure feels timeless, like it's always been here. And then, you step inside. The entryway opens into an expansive great room, where soaring ceilings meet exposed wooden beams, and a stone fireplace anchors the space. The floor plan is open, unapologetically so. There are no barriers between living, cooking, and gathering. Just air, light, and togetherness. To the right, the gourmet kitchen draws you in, not with glamour, but with heart. Think handcrafted cabinetry, a farmhouse sink that has seen pancake mornings and birthday cakes, and a massive island where the kids climb up on stools to help with Sunday dinners. Behind the kitchen, the dining area stretches toward oversized windows that frame a view of the lake so perfectly still, it looks painted. Everywhere you turn, there's wood. Not the polished kind, but the kind that tells stories. Reclaimed barn planks, raw beams, wooden floors worn in just right by bare feet and tiny footsteps. Then comes the master suite. Tucked quietly into a private wing, it's both luxurious and serene. Inside, a spa-like bathroom with deep soaking tub invites long nights and longer conversations. But the real magic waits just beyond the glass door, an outdoor shower, open to the treetops and stars. Who needs five-star resorts when nature is your ceiling? Upstairs, a loft-style second floor offers more than extra beds. It's a memory space, bunk beds for sleepovers, a corner nook for guitar strumming, and that feeling of summer camp every night of the year. But this home isn't just about the main house. Step outside, and the property expands like a country song unfolding verse by verse. You'll find a cozy guest cottage by the lake, a hideaway with its own porch swing and fire pit, a place for friends, or maybe just for solitude. There's a horse barn, not ornamental but functional, a working space where Thomas rides with his kids, muddy boots and all. There are gravel trails, made for early morning walks, four-wheel rides, and those quiet talks that don't need an audience. And at night, when the stars come out, the back deck glows with soft lights, laughter, and the clinking of glasses shared with old friends. Estimated value? Around $3 million. But really, how do you price a home where four daughters took their first steps, where songs were written on napkins, and where silence finally feels louder than applause? And while this house is where the Retts live now, it's not the only place that holds their hearts. To fully understand the man behind the music, we need to go back to where it all began. House in Georgia. If Tennessee is where Thomas Rhett built his future, then Georgia is where he keeps his past. Just outside Valdosta, tucked along the tranquil shoreline of Lake Neva, lies a second home. Elegant, handcrafted, and deeply personal. It's here that Rhett reconnects with his southern roots, in a home that whispers tradition but sings of modern comfort. From the outside, the home is understated but masterful. Tennessee stone wraps the exterior, giving it a timeless, organic feel, like it rose up naturally from the lake bed. Subtle accent lighting dances across the stamped concrete pathways, guiding guests toward a wide front porch where rocking chairs wait and breezes never seem to stop. There's a reason this home is valued at over $1.5 million, and it becomes clear the moment you step inside. Wide plank hardwood floors stretch from one end of the house to the other, rich with warmth and polished with love. The entryway flows seamlessly into the living space, where vaulted ceilings open up the room, drawing the eye upward to exposed beams crafted from reclaimed wood. Every corner of this house feels intentional. To the right, a private office commands quiet respect. The ceiling here is arched, lined with more reclaimed wood, like a chapel for creativity. This is where Thomas escapes to journal lyrics, make business calls, or simply sit in silence with a guitar across his lap. The kitchen, though, is the heart. A sprawling island topped with polished granite stands at the center, surrounded by custom cabinetry that blends rustic tones with clean lines. There's a double oven, perfect for hosting family holidays, and a GE monogram fridge built seamlessly into the cabinetry. Even the sink is a story in itself, a deep farmhouse basin designed for both utility and elegance. Nearby, the dining area glows with natural light, thanks to Pelham windows and French doors that open out toward the lake. But it's the master suite that feels like a destination. A wide window overlooks the water, letting in morning light and moonlit reflections. The ensuite bathroom is its own private spa, a freestanding soaking tub, walk-in tile shower, and heated floors turn daily routines into rituals. Walk-in closets line the hallway, custom-built with enough space for stagewear, flannel, and the occasional cowboy hat. And with 4 large bedrooms and 4.5 baths, there's room for everyone. Grandparents, friends, maybe even a songwriting retreat or two. Outside, the magic continues. A heated pool and hot tub spill out toward the lake. A stone fire pit crackles under open skies. And the outdoor kitchen, powered by a 250-gallon propane tank buried underground, is always ready for a spontaneous BBQ or late-night marshmallow roast. There's even a garage with climate-controlled insulation, custom floors, and space for everything from classic cars to kids' bikes. This isn't just a second home, it's a memory vault. A place to unplug, unwind, and return to the boy who once dreamed big from the quiet banks of a southern lake. And while the homes reflect his taste, they only hint at the story behind the fortune that made them possible. So how exactly did Thomas Rhett turn lyrics into millions? Let's talk numbers. $5 million. That's the current estimated net worth of Thomas Rhett. Not inherited, not stumbled upon. Earned, verse by verse, mile by mile, city by city. But how exactly did this Georgia-born country kid build a fortune that supports multiple estates, a growing family, and a life of style and substance? It all started with a pen. Before the spotlight ever touched him, Thomas was writing songs for the spotlight to find others. His earliest financial boost came not from his own voice, but from the success of Jason Aldean's I Ain't Ready to Quit, a track he co-wrote before his solo career even began. And the royalties just kept coming. He helped craft Florida-Georgia Line's Round Here, Lee Brice's Parking Lot Party, and Aldean's 1994. Each hit added zeros to his bank account before he ever released a debut album of his own. But that all changed in 2013. With It Goes Like This, Thomas Rhett transitioned from ghostwriter to chart topper. As his name climbed the billboards, so did his booking fees. Small venues turned into sold-out tours. Then came the game changer, Die a Happy Man. The single didn't just dominate radio, it dominated his career, spending 8 consecutive weeks at number 1. It became one of the most streamed and downloaded country songs of the decade, and with every stream came a payment. From that point on, touring became a gold mine. Between 2017 and 2023, Thomas Rhett embarked on headlining tours that sold out arenas across North America. VIP experiences, merchandise sales, and exclusive fan club packages turned each concert into a small economy. And then came the collaborations: Katy Perry, Maren Morris, John Pardy. These cross-genre moments expanded his fan base, boosted streaming revenue, and opened doors to brand partnerships. He hasn't gone full celebrity endorsement mode like some stars, but behind the scenes, Licensing deals and syncs in TV and advertising add a quiet stream of cash to his accounts. And in today's digital world, Rhett plays the game smart. His streaming numbers are steady, with new singles and bonus releases keeping listeners engaged. Even the 2023 release of 20 number ones brought in renewed revenue from older catalog hits. But here's the twist. Despite the millions, the mansions, and the music empire, Thomas Rhett doesn't flaunt it. There are no private jets, no diamond chains, no luxury excess for the sake of it. Instead, the wealth flows into things that matter: land, legacy, and life at home. But perhaps his richest investments don't sit in banks or real estate portfolios. They sit in the lives he's touched. And in the next part of our story, you'll see exactly how Thomas Rhett turns music into meaning: philanthropy. Before he was a father of 5, Thomas Rhett was just a man who said yes. Yes to love, yes to adoption, yes to a deeper kind of purpose. And it was that one yes that unlocked a calling far beyond the stage. In 2017, Thomas and his wife Lauren traveled to Uganda, following a path not for a tour, but for a child. They met a little girl. Her name was Willa Gray, and without hesitation, they brought her home, into their family, into their hearts, and into a future full of love. But that journey didn't end at their front door. It sparked a fire. The Rhetts began working closely with 147 Million Orphans, a global organization providing essentials for orphaned children: food, shelter, beds, and most of all, hope. Rather than just donate, Thomas turned to what he knew best: music. He organized a charity concert called Thomas Rhett and Friends. The result? Over $250,000 raised in one unforgettable night. And every dollar went toward transforming orphanages in Uganda and Haiti. New beds, mosquito nets, clean water systems, even school supplies for children who had never held a pencil before. But for Thomas, it was never about the headlines. It was about looking those kids in the eye and saying, "You matter." Back home in Nashville, his compassion didn't stop at international borders. He and Lauren became active volunteers at the Nashville Rescue Mission, a shelter that serves the city's homeless community. You won't find paparazzi photos here, just quiet moments of the couple serving meals, wiping down tables, and sitting with people society often overlooks. To Thomas, this wasn't charity. It was humanity. In 2021, when devastating storms ripped through parts of the South, Rhett didn't wait for a corporate campaign. He gave away his vintage Ford Bronco in a charity raffle, with proceeds benefiting Feeding America and disaster relief efforts in communities ravaged by hurricanes Helene and Milton. And when the pandemic brought the world to a halt, he responded not with silence, but with a song. Be a Light. A heartfelt collaboration with Reba McEntire, Hillary Scott, Chris Tomlin, and Keith Urban, the track wasn't just a message, it was a mission. Every dollar earned from the song went to the MusiCares COVID-19 Relief Fund, supporting out-of-work musicians and crew members during the industry's darkest days. It was a reminder that sometimes, the most powerful chord you can play is one of kindness. Through it all, Thomas Rhett's philanthropy doesn't scream. It whispers. It shows up in the quiet gestures, the hidden donations, the anonymous meals paid for in someone else's name. Because for him, giving isn't a PR move. It's a part of his family rhythm. His songs may top charts, but it's the lives he's lifted that will echo longest. And at the center of all this generosity, there's a heartbeat stronger than any melody. Let's step into that final, most intimate chapter. His life off stage, as a husband, a father, and a man who values faith above fame. Personal life. It's early morning in Tennessee. The lake is still. The kitchen smells like fresh waffles. And in the quiet hum of a home waking up, Thomas Rhett is chasing toddlers around the living room. Barefoot, coffee in hand, guitar leaning in the corner. This is his real stage now, and these are his favorite fans. He married Lauren Akins in 2012, but their story began long before that. Childhood sweethearts who drifted apart, only to find their way back, just in time for a life neither of them could have imagined. Together, they built a love story rooted in friendship, faith, and a shared desire to create something bigger than themselves. In 2017, they opened their hearts to adoption. Their first daughter, Willa Gray, born in Uganda, became the heartbeat of the family. And in a poetic twist of timing, just months later, Lauren gave birth to their second daughter, Ada James. By 2020, Lennon Love arrived, bringing even more giggles and chaos. And then came Lily Carolina, born in 2021, with the calmest eyes and quietest soul. Now, in 2025, the Retts are preparing for another miracle. Their fifth child is on the way. 5 daughters, 5 stories, 5 reasons Thomas Rhett calls himself the luckiest man alive. Their home is not built around awards or gold records. It's built around bedtime stories, sidewalk chalk, backyard swings, and the kind of love that doesn't need to be posted online to be real. Lauren, a New York Times best-selling author and humanitarian, is his equal in every way. She brings clarity to his chaos, stillness to his storms, and together, they live a life that blends simple joys with deep purpose. And then, there's faith. Thomas doesn't preach it. He lives it, in quiet prayers over dinner, in lyrics like Beer with Jesus, in collaborations with worship artists like Chris Tomlin, where music becomes ministry. Church isn't a place they go. It's a rhythm they live. Even in the whirlwind of tours and interviews, the Retts prioritize one thing above all: presence. Not performance. Not perfection. Just being there. For scraped knees. For piano recitals. For spontaneous dance parties in the hallway. He may have sold millions of records. But his greatest work? It's this life. This family. This legacy of love. And in a world obsessed with fame and fortune, Thomas Rhett stands out not just for what he's built, but for what he's chosen to hold on to. From lakeside sunsets in Tennessee to quiet mornings in Georgia, from chart-topping hits to bedtime lullabies, Thomas Rhett's life is more than music. It's a legacy of love, faith, and family. Which part of his journey spoke to your heart most? Tell us below, and if you'd like to step inside more stories like this, don't forget to subscribe.